to our Unapologetic era, not to be confused with the Eras tour.
Oh, God, please.
This is a different type of tour.
She's in a new era now. What are you talking about?
Well, I think she's technically a millennial too, but she's a young and millennial. We're old millennials.
I'm the last. I'm like
geriatric.
I'm the first generation.
You are the first year. I'm
of a millennial.
I'm the second year.
Right. So it's not. Yeah.
I really am probably more Gen X than millennial, but I and not to harp on the being single thing, but I think me being single makes me feel more millennial.
Oh.
Because I'm not doing Gen X things.
I thought it was just the way we dressed.
Like not a 401k.
You know what's so interesting? If we keep talking about, like, we're going into the topic of we're just not good girls anymore.
Yeah.
And how much does she do that too? Now that you say that out loud.
Who, Taylor?
Yeah. She's like,
She's always trying to prove that she doesn't have to be a good girl.
Yeah, she's like, I'm my own woman now. I'm my own. I just realized I forgot to put shoes on, but let's go.
That's all right. She's doing it better than our girl Brittany.
Brittany, bitch.
Yeah, poor Brittany.
Oops.
Like I said, my mom all the time is referenced. She was like, "Oh, you're having a Britney Spears moment." I'm like, "Can we not?" Because she has never come out of that moment.
No.
So let's not like 2007.
I'm gonna shave my head, but I'll go beat a baseball bat or something. Definitely, not a doubt.
Look,
but,
them quads were on fire though. No matter, I don't care what anybody says.
She's a Louisiana girl.
She got
Louisiana girls got some
she
good
got them
legs.
athletic legs.
Yeah, that's a Louisiana girl thing. I'm convinced. I've lived all over the world. Nobody has legs like Louisiana girls. I'm sorry.
I wonder why. It's not like we have hills to walk on.
I don't know. What do you? I'm just like, I don't know. I'm half like French, Spanish, and Irish. Like I don't. The French
I don't know,
part.
but I do know that us down here, they like to say, with SEC pretty or whatever, but it's really just humidity for moisturizer.
Ooh, we stay moist down here.
Everywhere.
Oh God.
It's sticky.
All right. Well, that is not a good girl thing to say. You're
Why?
supposed to
I didn't say anything wrong. It's sticky.
Good girls are not supposed to be loud or vulgar. Or curse.
I'm so glad you just brought this up.
We are good Southern girls.
Hold on a second. Mr. James Dobson died today.
I still don't know who the hell that is.
He literally wrote the book about how a lady should be raised, and it was exactly what you're talking about.
Like, did it come out in the 40s or
Hold
something?
on, I'm good.
I don't
know.
know.
It came out in 70. Well, he was big in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, damn. When women were
big evangelical, and he's the one who did focus on the family.
I guess what the word you just said?
So he did the strong-willed child, dare to discipline. But there's one he wrote. See, they have one bringing up boys, which is really interesting. And there's actually an excerpt in there. Is that how you say it? Excerpt, where they say that
you're using big words today.
Well, if a father is trying to parent, parent's the best way to put it, parent a strong-willed boy, to put him in the shower with you so the boy sees you have a bigger penis. Says that in the book.
Then
Bringing Up Girls. So the book is called Bringing Up Girls. It is literally what we are talking about today. And he died today. He caused so much trauma, or his prototype, his
legacy of books,
his life, his whatever
work. Okay.
Yeah, it caused so much religious trauma for people. Me being one of them, but
maybe that's why I don't know who he is.
It just happens that you and I were going to talk about this today whenever he passed away this morning, and he wrote this book, and I was going down a rabbit hole literally on the way over here about all the trash that he put out there. I mean, I get some of it, and look, some of it is so ingrained in me, I feel guilt sitting here saying that it's not good.
You can't say that that's not a good girl conditioning. You can't say no, it's rude.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not using that word. I'm using it properly. Like, literally. This is what was driven into us. And I said on a previous episode that, I've never really had like a vice. And my thing, I guess you could say, was sex, because it was a way for me to be able to express my emotions, express myself with nobody telling me what to do. It was my way of like, it was my fuck you. And of course, it feels good when you have sex. So like, you get your own little dopamine hit and everything. So, but that was my good girl gone bad. That was my good girl gone bad, because I couldn't lie. I couldn't curse. I wasn't supposed to do nothing wrong. Like, and at the time, like, was built like a little boy, so it's not like I had a body to really show off. So
That was a
I'm
lot at one time. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just learned how to give a really good BJ.
Well, also, you're behind closed doors.
Yes,
So you don't
exactly.
have to be the persona of a good girl. You're the bad girl in that
There was
scenario.
nobody standing over me going, "Are you going to make that bad decision?"
Because he was going to let you. We going to make this bad decision together.
You want to know what's funny is that the same men that were raised under the same pretense were the ones that jumped on the bandwagon of that fastest.
Of the
So
bad girl behind
why
closed
didn't the
doors?
guys feel this guilt? Why didn't the guys feel compelled to save themselves from marriage? Why didn't the guys feel that they shouldn't be given hand jobs in the back of the bus, like, or getting hand jobs in the back of the bus? I didn't do that, by the way.
I'm trying to think, did I?
No, but I know other people who did that went to school with us. Um, and
Oh,
well, and then
oh, what about, oh,
we have one friend who got pregnant at school.
who?
I'm not saying, but she knows who she is.
Now, I will say there was a minivan scenario of this certain family that we went to school with
I could
that would
go.
drive us to all the basketball games. And
Uh-huh.
mama surely didn't mind laying down that back seat to make a bed. Like those minivans when they made a bed. And
Make this make sense to
she would
me.
turn on a movie while she's driving up there while we're in the back seat with her 16 and 17-year-old sons.
Make this make sense to me because you're not wrong. You were right. But these are the same exact people who told us we were going to die and burn in hell
Yes.
for giving BJs.
Or kissing.
And they're laying the
period.
seats down in the back to watch movies on a 4-hour drive. And you don't think no finger's going to start like,
Here's some blankets. Are you cold, sweetheart? Yeah.
talk about confused young people.
Yeah.
And
We're supposed to be these good little girls at this private Christian school, but mama up there that is our lead in this,
how about the fact that our own teachers, who were children, by the way, our teachers were too young, but they were
because one of them ended
they
up
were
married one of the students.
flirtatious.
Mm-hmm.
They were wearing low cut shirts. They were bending over. They were doing things whether it was on purpose or not. They were doing things that were hanging out outside of school with the high school
Oh my
boys.
God, yes.
But at the same time saying purity, purity,
Purity.
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 Now sit on my lap.
Or the point that we were freaking, this is not a good girl, but cheerleading uniforms worn to school all day long that were our asses hanging out.
Well, I will give them a little bit of credit. Our uniforms were more conservative than other
definitely.
schools.
Oh, my other school had a flyaway skirt we wore every day.
Yeah,
Like, it
I
was-
love that flyaway skirt. I wonder what happened.
That
to
is not appropriate.
the shorter ones look better on YouTube. But yeah, no, ours weren't as long as some of the other Christian schools though. You remember some of those girls would show up and they were like to their knees and it was
Yeah,
like,
it
ooh,
was terrible.
that sucks for you.
Like 1930s. Like
So
it was
bad. Yeah, so bad. But yeah, no, so I will definitely say that it's just a coincidence that we were going to talk about this and that man died today and he is who set in place all of the things that have put the guilt in me that I live with to this day. Even raising boys. I tell you this all the time because you have girls and I'm like, thank God I didn't have girls. I thank God I had boys. I didn't want to have girls because I didn't want to screw a girl up the way I got screwed up.
You were
No. That's screwed up. The fact that that is screwed up. Don't tell me that that's not weird. And I'm not blaming I'm not blaming anybody. I'm blaming a system. So it is wrong to beat into someone's head while speaking tongues that you need to save yourself from marriage and then put these children in situations where your natural instinct is to connect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But okay, so given for there was a short period of time that you and I attended the same school, but by then I was not a. I mean, I didn't grow up from day one like you did with it.
I was there from kindergarten through ninth grade.
I was just a couple years there and gone and done, and
It really did. It
probably
really did raise me.
yeah. So I wasn't like that. I was already. I mean, by the time I got there, I was 14. So and
Yeah,
left
you were
when
impressionable, but you weren't being raised in it.
yeah. I would say that school probably did more detriment than being in a public school did for me.
I was devastated when my parents told me they were pulling me out and I was going to public school. I was devastated. Best thing that could have ever happened to me. And I don't think that they knew I'm not sure if they know they were doing something good for me or not. Knowing them, I would say they didn't know that, like, they were taking a chance and they were like, we're just not paying for you to go to Christian school anymore. This is
Right.
not working out.
It wasn't even
But
that expensive of a school
it wasn't, but they were like, we're not wasting our money anymore.
anymore.
But yeah, it was the best thing that ever happened to me mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it. Like there was so much relief I had being picking and choosing my own friends and then being proud of myself for choosing good people. Where when I was raised in such a tight, small, teeny tiny community,
Right.
you don't get to choose who your friends are.
No, because there's only 12 people in your
Right.
class.
You are who you are. And then they hate you and you have to be gracious about them hating you because you're a Christian. So put me in a school with, 1,000 kids and then I choose 20 to 30 of them that are decent people to spend time around.
Right.
And then I'm proud of myself. I have something to be proud of. And I'm still consider those people better friends. The people that I grew up with in the small school are family, which means that I don't like them, but I'll never turn my back on them.
Right.
They're family. The people that I chose in high school, at public school, those are my friends. Those are the people that if I see them, I actually care and I want to be there for them. I will never turn my back on the private school people, but I don't like them. And I don't agree with most of what they have to say.
Oh, God, no. Them damn leather pants. I see them all the time. But it's interesting because I still find, even now that we've known each other, I don't know, 30 years or whatever, you still have the same, is it mannerism is the right word, of being a good girl?
Oh, I fight it every day.
Yeah. Like,
This is where I don't feel like I'm an adult.
because the non-confrontational part about you.
Ooh,
Like
that's gotten so much better, but it was so bad 20
yeah,
years ago.
like the submissive part of, okay, I'm accommodating you because I'm a good girl. I'm not confrontational and I'm going to be submissive to you. Whereas,
Be gracious.
yeah, be
Being gracious, yeah.
But I mean,
Even if it's another woman that's being vile,
yeah,
I am supposed to be gracious about it, and I'm supposed to I'm supposed to be kind, and I'll be honest with you, I don't feel it's not like I'm fighting the feeling of like I hate you and I'm being kind anyway. Like no, I kind of do feel kind because it's been beaten into me. Like that's how I'm supposed to be.
right.
Yeah,
Like I was always told, you have to be as pretty on the inside as you are on the outside.
yeah,
And that became a good girl conditioning
Yeah.
because like I have to be a submissive, not be rude, be polite, and yes ma'am, yes sir.
or if you're
and
not kind and loving and gracious, that it will be seen on your face.
yes.
Yeah.
So then I was always told if you're not these things, you're gonna, even though you may be shy, introverted, you're gonna be perceived as a bitch. And I mean, I was being told this at 10 years old.
Yeah, how old were we whenever our parents or our parents' friends or aunts and uncles started making jokes about resting bitch face? I was very young.
I don't remember. That was never a conversation, but you have a strong Italian family and I did.
Well, I'm not sure that they started calling it resting. They called it a fungi.
A what?
That you walk around with a fungi on your face. Why are you walking around with a
Is that a
fungi?
term they came up with, or is
That's
that a legit term?
It's an Italian family term. I don't know. It's a frown, is what
Oh.
it is. But I don't know if my family made it up or if it's an actual like passed down, generation to generation. But anyway, it was a fungi, and it would be like, "Why are you walking around with a fungi on your face?" That was essentially saying you have resting bitch face. Then as I got older, it was, resting bitch face. That now I don't think I have resting bitch face, but I think
No, not at all.
But I think I almost was like
I do.
I became very aware of it.
Yeah.
And then I started to worry that I looked unapproachable or unapproachable is the best way to put it because you always want to be gracious and kind and sweet and blah, 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 and welcoming and
Right.
not looking judgmental. Judgmental,
I don't think I have that ability.
that
It
not
shows on my face.
not looking judgmental that's what it was. Besides the fungi, that was the other thing. Like I remember my family making fun of me growing up, saying that I judged everybody, like even when I was little, just like looking at them, which my niece does that.
She does. Oh, sorry.
Like
it's
I
cute.
guess I would like cut my eyes or do something. They're like you were
Right.
judging him, and that made me feel bad about myself. Like no, because I'm not really judging. I'm probably having an anxiety attack. That's probably what's happening.
So I think any good girl would put someone's feelings and emotions above
every
themselves.
day, all the time.
So then you're internalizing all these things in your head and you're resting bitch face and all these things because you're trying to lift up everyone
My
else.
entire anxiety disorder, which I do have a lifelong anxiety disorder going back to whenever I was a very young child, has been hide it. So whenever I was in kindergarten, and yes, I remember this. Whenever I was in kindergarten, I had so much anxiety that I wouldn't eat, and I wouldn't eat at school, specifically because I was afraid if I ate that I would throw up, and I had like this huge fear of throwing up at school.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, you'd be
I
made fun of for eternity.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and so I just, because my thought process was, if there's nothing in there, I can't throw up. So I wouldn't eat. I
At 5
refused.
years old, that's crazy.
It was so bad that the teachers got involved and they would come and they would check my lunch and like take inventory and let my mom know. And yeah, it was really bad. And then I had such bad separation anxiety from my mom that I chased my mom to the road one day whenever she came. My anxiety was ridiculously bad for a little child. And guess what was done for me?
Nothing.
Because they saw it as me throwing a temper tantrum. So I
Is
learned to just not,
You're not being a good girl.
I learned to not
You're not be yeah.
show those emotions anymore. And I started having panic attacks on a regular basis that nobody ever knew was happening.
Man.
And I just learned to stuff it. And then once I was married and I had a kid and I clearly had postpartum, and my postpartum was mainly anxiety,
Yeah.
I passed out one day in the car. Like I was in the car in the passenger seat with my then husband, passed out, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, I said, "Nothing, I'm fine. Nothing happened." Good girl. Don't make a mess. Don't make a mess. Don't be a problem.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, I got dumped for being the biggest problem in his life. So I guess a good thing is like, doesn't matter how much you try to be the good girl, you can't control everything.
No. Don't be the
You can't control the outcome. You can't, and I've said that about my friends that they live like the perfect little like their biggest concern is which drapes they're going to put in their dining room. And I'm like,
their good girl conditioning has continued on to adulthood.
some of this could be jealousy. Some of this could be jealousy, but I'm like, they have no idea. Like they
Right.
have no idea that
Envy.
I wouldn't say yeah, I mean the jealousy is like the innocence of it. Like being able to go back to my world, not because I was doing all the right things. So everything right should be happening to me. And then it didn't. And I look at people who are doing all the right things. And I'm like, I should not be jealous.
But then we start doing the right things to a fault. And that's when our lives blew up.
Well, the reason why I'm doing our unapologetic era is because I don't want to be that I want like I'm halfway through my life. Like I want to live authentically within myself. I don't want to sit around and have panic attacks and then say I'm fine.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. I'm good. I want to be able to speak my truth and not be I can be a good girl and speak my truth.
Yeah, there's a difference in being a good girl and there's a kindness where that comes along where even so what, I'm not a good girl anymore, but I can still be a kind, genuine, authentic person.
I will tell you right now, our podcast, I have definitely been judged for, which that's okay. That's not something that bothers me. What
Partially-
bothers me is that
Partially judged.
exactly what we're talking about today, the good girl mentality. It's, ooh, she's being a bad girl. Have you heard the things she's talking about?
Right.
Have you heard the things she said? She's talking about orgasms and blowjobs, and that's real fucking life.
Yeah. But we're not supposed to do that. That's crude. We're not
Which
supposed
is
to do
how
that.
women go their entire lives without having an orgasm during sex.
Well, that's sad.
There are many women who do it. And I'm not even going to sit here and say like they just don't know what they're missing out on.
Are they okay with that? Is that okay?
They're being a good woman. Their job is to support and assist. And look, I love a
But that's what the
I love
Bible
a
says we're supposed to do.
but he wouldn't make us to be able to have an orgasm if he didn't want us to enjoy it. And then we're also told you're not allowed to masturbate because
in
that's
the Bible.
sinful.
Yeah.
So that means he needs to know how to do it. But that also means we have to speak up for ourselves. And it has to be okay that I sit here and I talk out loud about this being normal and then me not being called a bad girl for it.
Yeah. But we're not supposed to vocalize that.
No, we have
We're
to.
supposed to be seen, not heard, and everything you're saying says straight in the Bible, this is what we're supposed to be.
Also, the girls who are playing the good girl are usually the ones who get cheated on.
I go with that.
I'm not saying that's okay. I'm
No.
not saying it's okay. But I'm saying it's very true. And it might be some of the reason why my DMs do get filled up with married men, because they do see me speaking up and it's attractive to them, and their wives aren't going to do it.
They're bolder. They see you as it's just like watching
But
porn.
would they marry me? Mm-mm. They
Oh,
don't. They don't
no,
want
no, no.
somebody. They don't want
No.
somebody speaking the way I speak. As they want their pretty little wife, but they don't want to have sex with her. They want to have sex with me, and that's fucked up.
Well, that's because she's just doing missionary style and you're like tits down, ass up.
Well, she's doing what she's been taught to do.
And that's
Everything I know how to do in the bedroom, I taught myself. Like, it's not like I didn't have a friend who taught me. I didn't learn it. Like,
Kama Sutra is the easy book to go along with.
My mother and I are not going to talk about sex, okay? I mean, my grandmother used to be a little bit, like, slightly open about sexual
Yeah.
stuff, but
Not to.
my
But is
experience has
that-
been my experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. It wasn't an open thing growing up in a Mormon household that you talked about sex. It was a very closed door moment. Like it doesn't like, well, I know you had sex 4 times because you got 4 kids. But that's a extent. Like you don't it's not a
Yeah,
good
no,
girl thing to
I
talk
don't,
about.
not that I want to know when my parents have had sex or are having sex, but I know nothing to this day still.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't want that to change.
At least
Please.
you weren't one of the kids that had to walk in on your parents accidentally.
But that's like that's almost like a rite of passage, isn't it? I mean, who knows? I could have walked in on them and I didn't realize it.
didn't
I was
realize,
so stinking innocent to that as a child. Like whenever I would still go in my parents' room, they could have been, and I'd have never known. Like I would have had to have like seen like organs going in and out.
I mean, I remember boyfriends in high school and not even like maybe 8th, 9th, 10th grade for the most part that I would go over to hang out with them and they would be playing porn on the TV in like the game room at the parents' house.
Oh my God, I would never go back. I would. Okay, so one of the other things that
I'm just saying I was a good girl and I sat there and I took it in and I would just didn't say anything because I'm not supposed to. And I would just.
I will say that I've had sex with multiple people in my life because I was being a good girl.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't want to kick up dirt. I didn't want to cause a stir.
You don't want.
They were being pushy,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to. And I said I didn't want to, but then they were pushy.
Pushy.
No,
Yeah.
and they don't have any problem being pushy. Like no fear, shame, or
Nope.
guilt in that at all. And so it was either I make a big deal out of this, and then I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna go, or I just
Yeah.
take one for the
I hate
team.
to say it, but even not this marriage, but in other relationships or first marriage, I just did it because it was what I was supposed to be doing. Like it was
No,
just
well, I think that's like any
to
long term.
fulfill what my wifely duty or girlfriend duty was. And I should tell you right there, a red flag. You
You just
shouldn't
got
do
to convince them you really love quickies.
that. Look,
I haven't been in with anybody. It's been 10 years since I've been with somebody for longer than, I don't know. My second husband and I were together for a long time, but he was different because I enjoyed having sex with him a lot. Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that there's a lot of sex that I've had in my lifetime that I didn't want to have.
yeah. Oh, me too.
And you want to
Absolutely.
know what's even weirder is that to this day, those people still end up in my life somehow or another, and I have. And I have to have conversation with them or talk to them, and I still remember those moments. And they don't care, and they don't remember it, and it didn't affect them, and it affects me.
This is a horrible scenario, and this was maybe when we were like 17 or so. I remember being at your house one time, and this guy that I met, who I don't even know how fucking old he was. Like I should not have been in this scenario to begin with. He was, ugh. But he picked me up. I don't know. I don't remember. But he picked me up from your
What
house.
kind of car?
It was I don't even remember. But he picked me up and he like wouldn't let me out of the car. And we drove around for like
I'm making that
good-
face, but I probably have been in that situation
Yeah,
too.
it'd been like 2 hours and I was just being the good girl sitting there taking it. And then we ended up on a levee somewhere and he was being very aggressive, not in a rape manner, but very aggressive. Nothing happened, and thank fucking God, a security guard from the plant that was there came and knocked on the window and said, "Y'all need to leave," because there'd be no freaking idea what would have happened to me. This guy was a psychopath. I ended up having to get a restraining order against him. It was insane. But if I wouldn't have been that good girl mentality in my mind, like I need to please, I need to be good, then I wouldn't even end up in that stupid situation in the first place.
Right. So, you know what? It came to my mind. My whole rape happened because I was being a good girl.
Hmm.
One, I was a job interview. So,
What? I didn't know that part.
it was a job interview, and it was a job interview for
Porn?
no resurfacing floors. So the accounts were like the only reason why we weren't like in an office like in a traditional setting was because we were going to meet the like he was going to show me about around
Right.
how
Yeah.
this is done.
Yeah.
And we were in separate vehicles and we did meet in a neutral place, but we did go look at the accounts, and as the process was
Right.
finishing up and as I thought we were done, he pulled into a Motel 6. I know exactly which Motel 6 it is. I pass it every day.
Not even a good one. Damn.
No, I know exactly which one it was. We pass it every day, and there's a Waffle House next to it. And wait. So here's the thing. Like I knew, once I pulled under that awning, I knew what was happening. Before that, I did not know. I was clueless. Once we pulled in, I was like, "This is bad. Like this is really bad."
Gotta go with your gut
Well, he
feeling.
went inside to get a room, and I could have gotten out of the vehicle and ran.
Yeah.
And the good girl in me said, "Don't do that." The good girl in me said, "Don't make a fuss. Don't make a big deal." And they're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
They're not going to believe you. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to go in there and say, "Call 911"? Like, they're going to be like, "Why? What's wrong? Nothing happened to you."
Right.
I was assuming something was going to happen.
Well,
So,
you assumed right.
of course, I assumed right. And then even through the process, he basically threatened me, and it was either you do this or else. And I was like, I don't want to. And this was he was an ex NFL offensive line player,
Big boy.
very big man, disgustingly big. And there was no like, what was I?
What are you gonna do? You're so tiny. You're petite, and
So I
like,
just
yeah,
cried and I just
laid
took it.
there. Yeah.
And I went to my parents' house afterwards and I was sobbing, crying, but I never told them. I never told anybody. I told my first husband, and that's what he threw in my face. But he was the only
Yeah.
person that I had ever told. And some of it was like, and the other good girl part of it was I did this to myself. I should have known better. I should have been able to see the red
Oh,
flags. I
the
should have never
guilt, the
gotten in the vehicle with
shame.
him. So you put yourself in this situation. Why would this person think that a 20-year-old would be able to do this job anyway? Like all of it came down to me blaming myself for allowing myself to be put in that situation and be dumb enough.
That was victim blaming yourself. Girl, you don't want just for you.
Good girl mentality.
Yep. Instead of
Because
holding a man accountable for their
honestly,
actions.
let's think about it. If I was raised in a crack house, I'd have been like, I am not getting in the car with you. You are not a safe person. Or, I'd have said out loud what I felt. But no, I was very gracious.
God, and how many being from the South, I can't imagine how many women are in these scenarios too. Like it's because we are groomed to be polite young ladies. It's not like up in New
Oh,
York
also,
or
I'd
like
like to say I didn't feel like I was allowed to call it rape because I wasn't attacked in an alley and
it,
held at gunpoint.
right.
He definitely physically threatened me, like without a doubt. And I definitely voiced what I did not want to happen.
Right. But because in some people's mentality, like to me, that's rape. But in some people's mentality, because you didn't fight off and all you said was no, then you
There was no
still,
physically fighting him. I mean, he
yeah,
was 3 times my size. Now, did I made him look me in my eyes while I cried, and I looked him dead in his eyes while he did it on purpose.
but people will say, why'd you walk through the door? Why'd you even go in that room?
That's why that moment of me sitting in the car looking at that Waffle House, realizing like how many steps away I was is so important in my life or poignant in my mind
Yeah.
because it was I had a decision to make in that moment and I failed myself because I said they're not going to believe you. They're like, all he had to do was say she was wrong. I was just stopping in because this was another one of my accounts. Because he
Yeah.
didn't say anything before he went in. Like there was, and leading up to it, there was no, like, there was nothing to make me believe that this was going to happen. I had no idea that this was leading to this. So I could have gone over to that Waffle House and said, he's about to hurt me. I know it's, and he could have just said, she's lying.
Like,
Like
she's
that was
crazy.
never going to
And then he would have
happen.
just driven off and left you there. I'm like, she's crazy.
But and also in my 20-year-old mind, I'm like, he didn't know where I lived, but he knew where I worked. That's where I
Mm,
met him at.
yeah.
I was just afraid. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And the good girl in me, or what I was taught, was this is what the good girl does.
Yeah.
And I guess the good girl had been taught that you go to the police afterwards.
No,
You
because
let the bad happen, and then you go to the police. But
that's
no.
not, no, because that's not, I think you're wrong because the girl mentality that we're conditioned to have is going to blame themselves. Like, I did this to myself. I put this myself in that situation. So that good girl conditioning we have is going to keep you from going and reporting it. And also in your head, like you just said, oh, well, it wasn't like I was raped in an alley and it came like it wasn't, if that would have happened, I bet absolutely you would went to the police. If it was a random stranger just came and something happened, that's a different scenario.
Well, yeah, because it was like at that point it would have been obvious
Yeah.
that there was an assault there.
Yeah.
This was, I mean, I certainly could have had a rape kit done on me, and it would have done whatever they do because
Right.
there had been trauma, but not like that kind of trauma.
Yeah.
It was pretty terrible, and like I said, I kept that to myself for a very long time. But that was you were talking about being non-confrontational.
Man, we really took this to a whole nother level of good girl conditioning.
But
It's not just,
it's deep.
yeah.
It's really, really deep. And I'm telling you, I really am thankful I didn't have to raise girls because that meant I was going to have to figure it out and not reproduce it again.
Yeah.
And that's a real, like, that's a true fear of mine. I, um, I always say that I worry about being a liar. I want to be as authentic as possible. These are all things that have really bothered me because have been so non-confrontational, which means that I have stuffed my feelings.
Hmm.
And so it's like I want to be as true and as honest as possible. I also think that I felt so betrayed whenever my first marriage ended because I had spent that time trying to be fair and honest and taking accountability.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was taking accountability. I blamed myself as much as I could. So whenever he said, You're just horrible," it was like, oh my God, like how could I be so blind?
Well, that's because it was a narcissistic
But
situation.
I didn't know what a
Like,
narcissist was. I didn't know I had been married to somebody that was controlling and manipulating and abusing me for 10 years. Like I
no,
didn't
you
recognize
don't
it.
go until you go actually talk to a professional there and they look at you and you're like, you're being abused.
I didn't
And you're
realize I
like,
had been
what?
isolated. I had
Yeah.
friends. So I didn't think I'd been being isolated, but I had built those friends up, and as I built a friendship, like friends, that's whenever he started to act out
Yeah.
because he
Oh, same.
became
Yeah.
angry that I was not as loyal to him as he felt like I should have been.
Yeah. Because when I stayed home for a lot of years, and then when I became the point of opening the circle and having to like trying to interact with people, and I'm given it was all within the church.
Hmm.
It was all within the Mormon
Being
church.
a good girl,
Being a good girl, sticking to the
keeping it safe.
everybody's married, and there's
Yeah.
no like keeping it safe. Those are my friends. It became now you're acting like them. Like now you're conservative and quiet or missionary positions are only option, which I wasn't like that. But it's like he was trying to put down my friends every chance that he got, even choosing the good girl friends.
Yeah. No, I mean the friends that I chose, they're still friends of mine, and I love them, like they're good friends. But I chose those friends because they were safe friends.
Hmm.
They were people that I felt like he accepted.
Yeah.
So it was safe. But the closer I became to them, the more resentful he became. And we did vacations with them and stuff too, which made me so happy. Like I loved it so much because I had come from a big Italian family. So this felt like family.
Right.
And come to find out, every single thing he resented me more and more and more for.
Hmm.
Also, he was saying the words that were coming out of his mouth were, I want you to be less codependent. So the words coming out of his mouth were, I want you to be less codependent. I want you to have less anxiety issues. I want you to be more, like push out of your comfort zone. And I'm doing those things. And then he hated me more and more for it.
Yeah, in a normal scenario, like, I don't mind being challenged from my spouse, but it became a resentment for you and you're in. Now
I didn't
my
even know that he was resenting me
No,
for
yeah,
it.
it came out. But see, mine was he was doing such bad things, drugs, alcohol, cheating,
Hmm.
me hanging around other good, solid,
Constantly reminded him of his,
that it became an issue, I think, because it like called him out on his shit.
yeah.
Like, I'm a good girl. I'm with these good girls. I'm with people that are solid families, good husbands, supportive, and it made him have to open his eyes of so again, I
Look,
became isolated again with no
I
friends.
never thought about that, but you're right. The friends that I chose because they were safe. They were safe, good people.
Yeah.
And you're right. He probably did feel like I was throwing it in his face that
Mhm.
he wasn't as great as they were.
Yeah.
Even though that's not how I saw it.
No.
I saw it as, you're who you are and I love you for who you are. You're disgusting and I love you for that. But and I'm not comparing you. Now, there was oh God, there was this one time that I made a plate of food for one of the husbands.
Oh God, why the fuck would you do that?
I
You just
don't
caused uproar.
I don't know why I did it. Honestly, I don't know why I did it. It didn't have any meaning in my
I would be
mind.
pissed if I was his wife. I'm like, why are you making my
I
husband a plate of
honestly
food?
don't know. It was at a wedding. I honestly don't know why I did it. And it was
I'd
so
be
long ago,
pissed.
so long ago now, I don't like I really don't know. But to this day he'd probably still get angry at me if he brought that up. If you brought that up, he'd probably still yell at me.
Yeah. I
He was very
totally
upset.
yeah. I'd be pissed too if my
But
somebody else's wife was making food for my husband.
not knowing, like not
But that's
knowing.
wait, but that's the good girl mentality. Is because I'm supposed to do that for my husband. I'm supposed to be that good and supply and you did it and you just pissed me off because of it. Like,
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Golly. Gosh dang. Well, see, and I didn't do any sort of like girls trips or anything either. And I started to a little bit. That's how the whole bachelorette party thing happened. But I started to a little bit because I was trying to like grow into my own person,
Mhm.
and do it as a good girl though. Do it as a good girl,
Well,
but
that backfired.
it did, but it really did. But I did not realize how much I was suppressing. Like all our comments are blown up like, "Oh, she hates cheating, but she cheated." And I'm like, I did not have any idea how much I was craving to be seen
Yeah.
or heard. I did not know
But
that
people
I was.
are saying these comments, they don't understand that when you're the extreme narcissist, you can't have these one-on-one conversations with you with a normal spouse.
They have their own conversations with themselves.
Right. You can't come to
You are
them and
not seen or
say,
heard because
yeah,
everything is about them. And if you
yes.
let's say you really got like, you're gonna listen to me,
Yeah.
then you're abusing them.
Yep.
You're an abusive person and you're
Yep.
verbally and mentally and emotionally abusing me.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, you're financially abusing me because you spend all of my money.
Yep. Oh my God. Like, isn't it crazy how we lived in different states, different relationships, different times of our life, but we live the same life?
Yeah. I remember,
Well,
look, I remember because we were in marriage counseling the whole time. We didn't talk about anything important because our marriage was fine. So we didn't talk about important things in therapy. But he
we're on
just
marriage therapy, but we're fine. Our
he just
marriage is
told
fine.
stories that made the therapist laugh because it made him happy. It made him feel good about himself. And I just
Right.
sat and I laughed with him. I'm like, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
happened. But I remember being on my knees crying. And this was like during the marriage, like not as the end when everything went bad. This was like when things were good. I remember being on my knees crying in our master bathroom and him saying that I'm about to leave you because you spent all of my money. And I was like, please, I'll do whatever. Like I won't, whatever it is that I'm doing that's
Right.
bothering you, like I'll stop. Like this is no reason to throw the marriage out. Now, who knows? That might have been the beginning of him like with all the cheating or whatever. I don't know. I can't put the time together. But yeah, we were in therapy. So when we went, I guess it was like, let's say like 6 months later, we were in therapy and he said, he goes, she's done a really good job. And she, like, I told her I was going to leave her if she didn't stop spending. And she did. She stopped spending. So, she did good. But he said it just like that.
Like you're a child? Like
And like as
you're
if I wasn't in the room.
Like you're a possession.
Yes, and I wasn't in the room. He's talking to the therapist as if he's giving me like a project
Because he wanted
analysis
validation from the therapist
that he got me to do what he wanted me
that
to do.
he was the better person and that you were wrong and you were bad and now
See, and this is how fucked up things were because I saw it as he noticed and everything's gonna be okay now because he hadn't told me that.
I'm just gonna fall out of this fucking chair.
Yeah,
How are we
but
so stupid?
I w-
Not you. I said us. I said
no,
us.
like swear to God, like swear to God, I sat there next to him, not being spoke over and about in a kind of condescending way, and I was thrilled and happy that he noticed, recognized, and that I pleased him. And I thought, I did it. I did it. Like we're gonna be fine.
I fixed it.
We're
I
good.
fixed
Yeah.
it.
I walked out of that appointment so happy, not recognizing all of the shit.
Right.
First of all, I wasn't the one with the financial problem. When I met him, the girls at the bank knew him by his first name because every fucking week he overdrew his account. He had to go in and he had to sweet talk him to take the charges off. I took over the finances because he couldn't pay bills on time. He had no idea how much money he had. But it was me. I was the problem. I was the problem. And I took that on as a good girl does.
Mm-hmm.
I took it on and I said, I will fix it. And I didn't buy anything for myself. And I was a good girl. I was a good girl. And yeah, then he left me anyway.
So what did we learn today?
We're still learning this one. I will be unlearning what was pounded into my brain the rest of my life.
You'll always have a good girl inside of you.
And that is the part that's a very unhealed little girl, very unhealed little girl. And I know you feel this. It doesn't matter how old we get. There are some days whenever you just don't feel like an adult and you feel like a child.
Yeah.
And it's usually a sad child. It's usually not a happy child. Sometimes I guess it could be happy, but usually it's a sad child.
You just have to be
This
drunk
is
to
one
be
of
a happy
the
child.
yeah. This is one of those sad child things where like I have these like real, true, raw moments of feeling like a child again and feeling desperate and helpless.
Yeah. And I'm not in that good girl mentality anymore. With that, I'm 100% not there anymore.
I would say I'm not there, but it doesn't mean that I don't have the moments.
Yeah. I don't have the
I
moment.
can talk myself out of them now.
Now see, you got to talk yourself. I have to talk myself into it to
No.
not be.
I have to tell myself, don't think like that. That's actually not the healthy decision.
Yeah. No, I have to talk myself into it to not be this bitch. Don't say it that way. Not to become. I have to reel myself in and recondition to be a good girl again sometimes, because I became in a masculine role for so long
Yeah.
that it's difficult. So what I'm experiencing the opposite of what you're experiencing.
I still like I've thought about that. I'm like, at what point am I gonna hit this like wall where I'm just a bitch all the time because of the things that I've dealt with when it comes to love.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you ever will.
I don't think I will either because I think
You
I'm
won't.
always gonna truly fight this thing that's I've been told is that this is how you're supposed to be. I also think that because I truly have had anxiety disorder my whole life, that feeds into it because
Yeah.
that anxiety comes from an insecurity.
Yeah.
So
Even at a young age.
yeah. But I'm telling you, I was kindergarten with major anxiety. Also in kindergarten, whenever my peers were speaking in tongues and praying, and I thought, I have no chance of going to heaven. There's no
We're
chance.
going to end on this, but going through the same thing you went through when I was at school there, I had to think, am I not good enough?
I just assumed I'm going to go to hell.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm just going to hell because I can't do what all they're doing.
Did you ever fake it?
Yes.
Of course, we all faked it. We all faked
I know
it.
what
So just roll of the tongue.
Yeah. A Mormon girl in a, what kind of church was that? I don't even.
Evangelical.
Yeah. A Mormon girl and I didn't, never. No, faked it all the time. Faking a lot of things
There
in
were
life.
times whenever I know I was faking it, but in my mind I was like, "Am I faking it?" And then I was like, "Wait, if I wasn't faking it, then I wouldn't be able to think like this." But come on now. We're talking about a child that's having these thoughts.
Yeah.
That ain't normal. Shouldn't I be worried about peas or milk?
All right, girls, get out of your good girl conditioning and just be authentic and be yourself. Authentic. I hate that word authentic now that we talk about this all the time now, but I don't
I like
it
to say
anymore.
genuine.
You can be, genuine and
I like to say genuine because genuine
You're not
feels more
here
empathetic for some reason.
you're not here to be a pleaser all the time.
All the time. Sometimes you need to.
Please yourself sometimes.
You're a good mom. You're a good wife.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Love you.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Bye.